Are you looking for some strategies to make this school year the best one ever? Then you are in the right place. Hi, I'm Dr. Allison Eber, and I work with tweens, teens, and young adults to develop executive function skills to make them more successful at school and in life. And today I'm here to talk to you about the 5 systems you need to make your year run smoothly. So why do you need systems? Systems are a great way to create routines and practices that take some of the decision-making process out of the situation so that students can work through tasks without having to make a lot of decisions and think through things and use parts of their brain that can be really tiring for young people. And so taking the time to plan out systems in advance can make a huge difference in making sure that everything runs smoothly and that kids get their days off to the right start. So let's talk about those 5 systems. The first system is having a great way to record information and have a plan for what you're going to accomplish. I talked in a previous video about setting up a planner using a disc-bound system, but any place could work as long as it's something that travels between home and school and records important information like homework assignments, due dates, anything else that's going on in the student's life that is going to be important. It can also be a place to dump ideas like to-do lists or ideas for a paper that they want to write. Having all of that information in one spot makes a huge difference in how prepared the student feels and whether or not they can keep track of all the different kinds of information that they're trying to juggle. So system number 1, have a planner. The second system is having a great morning routine. And before the school year gets off and running, it's really important to take some time to sit down and brainstorm all of the things that need to happen each morning to make the day go smoothly. You don't want days where you're so crunched for time to catch the bus that you miss out on breakfast, or you forget homework assignments and a parent has to run them up to the school. By having a good morning routine already set, you can avoid some of those issues and know exactly how much time you need to get ready each morning and have that process go smoothly. So, before school starts, make a list and think about all of the things that need to happen each morning. And then figure out a logical order that those events need to happen in. And then, once you have the order, estimate about how much time it's going to take for each one. And you'll want to build in a little bit of a cushion of buffer time just in case things don't run as smoothly as you'd hoped. Once you have an estimate, you can work backwards and figure out what time everyone's alarm needs to go off so that you can have an incredibly smooth morning without a lot of stress and trauma. We also make checklists to go with our morning routine and put everything in order so that when kids are still learning what those routines are and practicing them, they can look at the list and be reminded what's their next step. And eventually, we can fine-tune those lists and maybe laminate them so that they can be easily referred to, or maybe the student will remember the list entirely and won't even need to have a checklist anymore. Have you ever had one of those mornings where everyone seems to be forgetting something? Maybe it's a jacket or keys or a backpack or a homework assignment upstairs. And by the time all of those things are gathered, people feel frustrated and exhausted. And that's not just the people who were forgetting the things, it's anyone who was involved in trying to get out the door that morning. That's why we created a launch pad at our house to gather all of that stuff in advance, so that when it's actually time for us to get out the door, it's not a stressful experience for anyone. And so at your lunch pad, you're going to want to take things like keys to the car, jackets, coats, backpacks, water bottles, lunch boxes, shoes, anything that is necessary for heading out to school in the morning. And since I want my kids to take as much ownership as possible in preparing those things, we created visual cues which are just reminders of all of the things that need to be grabbed before they can successfully leave the house. I built mine using an app called Flat Icon, which is an add-on you can get in Google Slides and Google Docs. And what it does is it just creates little graphics that can serve as those reminders. Do I have this? Do I have that? And those lists might be different between, and certainly in my house with a 6-year-old and a middle schooler, they have different lists of things that they need to grab each morning. So building one of those in a spot where they can easily leave the stuff that they are going to need for school the next day and grab it when it's time to go is a huge time saver in making our morning routine successful. The fourth system that makes a huge difference in our success each day is having an evening reset. And this is something that makes the morning routine more successful, and it's definitely something that we notice if we don't spend the 10 minutes after dinner putting it together, then our mornings really go off the rails. So after we clean up, we take a few minutes to check the weather forecast for the following day, check the calendar, see if there's anything going on that we need to dress for, lay out our clothes for the next morning, regather all of the homework and other activities that may have scattered throughout the day, check to make sure that we've got lunches packed or mostly packed for the following day, and leave ourselves a note for any tasks that still remained to do in the morning. Basically, anything we can do in advance to make the morning run more smoothly, we try to tackle the night before when, even though we might be feeling tired, we're certainly going to be thinking more clearly and not as groggy from getting up, especially as we make that transition back to school where you might be adjusting to a new sleep schedule or not feeling so great in the morning because the alarm is going off way earlier than it did during the summer months. So taking the time to do an evening reset will buy you tons of time in the morning and ease the stress that you're going to feel starting out your day. The last system that I wanted to talk about in getting the year off to a great start is having a weekly family meeting. The way this works is each Sunday afternoon, I gather with my family and we bring our calendars and anything else that we might have paper-wise, and talk about all of the things that are going on in the upcoming week so that everyone's pretty much aware of what the schedule is. One thing that happens with kids who have executive function challenges is that any change to the routine can throw things off and create other issues where maybe they get frustrated, they have a harder time regulating their emotions, they don't adjust well to doing something different. And so giving some lead time and helping them anticipate a change can make a big difference in how they prepare themselves and how much anxiety they feel about that change. So if somebody in the family has to be working late and might not be home for dinner one night, we can talk about that and let the kids know in advance that that's going to be going on. If there are nights where I might need help making dinner and want the kids to get involved in that, I can give them a heads up and say, hey, Wednesday night I'm going to be pretty busy. Can you help me make this? And they know what's coming. And we can figure out the meals together, the unusual changes to our schedules, and all of that stuff in advance to give enough notice that everyone feels like they're going into the week with a plan, that they've had a chance to ask questions, that we all know what's going on. And that makes a huge difference in how prepared we feel as a family. And it also makes it so that there's not one parent who's having to do all of the heavy lifting of tracking everyone's schedule and keeping everyone on task. And as we're trying to build executive function skills for kids, we want them to be involved in seeing that behind the scenes work of organizing a family and keeping everyone on track. Having systems and routines in place can be a tremendous scaffold for executive function. It helps ease the decision-making burden on kids and helps them know what to expect and how to be successful in organizing themselves for the days ahead of them. And these 5 simple systems can make a huge difference in helping your family run more smoothly. So as we are looking to build executive function and create those scaffolds that will help kids understand organization skills and planning skills, these are simple things that you can be doing each week and refine over time as the needs of your family adjust to make sure that kids are developing executive function skills that will help them be more successful. There are so many things that we can do to teach executive function to kids, and it's important that we work on that process and continue to work together as family members to achieve those goals. If you liked this video and found some information that might be useful to you, it would mean the world to me if you would like or comment and share this with others so that we can get the word out. I want to build savvy learners who can leverage all of the tools available to them and be more successful in school and in life. Thanks for watching.